Hello there, and welcome to our assembly today. I'm really pleased to be here because I haven't been here for one of our assemblies for quite a long time now. And do you know, I was about to say I was excited. Maybe that's not quite the right word, but I'm looking forward to seeing Bubble and Squeak again because they're going to be joining me. And I haven't seen Bubble and Squeak for ages, and I kept thinking, I wonder if they've calmed down a little bit. I wonder if they're going to be a bit quieter. Do you think so? I'm not so sure. But they're always fun to be around. So, well, let's see. Hopefully they'll turn up soon and we'll be able to find out what's in the box. Oh, I can hear them. Always hear them. Oh, it's only Bubble. Where's Squeak's not been drinking? And he's got all tired and grumpy. Oh dear, so Squeak hasn't been drinking enough. He's not had enough water and so he's got all tired and so he's a bit slow. Oh dear, he's a bit... Squeak, there you are. Are you okay? Bubble says you've not had enough to drink. Yeah, I know everyone's been telling you you've got to have a drink and it's not much fun, but you get all tired otherwise and you're not as fast and you get grumpy. Do you get grumpy, Squeak? Bubble says you get grumpy. Look, I know water isn't that exciting. You think it's boring and it doesn't taste of anything. But the thing is, you've got to drink water. We've been thinking about desert islands, and on a desert island, if you don't have water, you don't survive. And actually, it's not even just on a desert island, Squeak. If you don't drink enough water, you start feeling all bleh, which I think you do, don't you? Anyway, we need to stop talking about this, don't we? Because what do we need to do? We need to find out what's in the box. Are you ready? Good. Right, here we go. Let's find out. Does it still make a creak? It does. Bubble and Squeak, the box makes a creak. Here we go. Ready? Oh, I love that noise. And look. Look at what we've got, Squeak. We've got a bottle of water. No, Jason didn't make me put it in there so you felt bad. He didn't, really. It's because it's something that you would need on a desert island. It's so important that we drink enough water. It's so important. Doesn't look like much, but we'll find out just how good it is. Now, do you remember when something's in the box, it helps us think of a Bible story, doesn't it? Now, I know you're bookworms. I know you read lots and lots. Do you think you can work out what Bible story it might be that we're going to think about today? Noah and the Ark. Lots of water. It's not that one. Have another guess. What do you think it might be? Jonah and the whale. Yeah, well, Jonah, yeah, there's lots of water there as well, but not that one, I'm afraid. Okay, let's try one more chance. See if you can get which one it is. Jesus walking on the water. Now, that's an amazing story, but it's not that one either. Shall I tell you? Okay. Well, the story today, this is really interesting. Jesus went to a wedding. I know, it's good, isn't it? A wedding. Do you like going to weddings? Do you put on your best clothes? Nice hats? All the rest of it? I bet you look beautiful at a wedding, you two. Well, Jesus went to a wedding with all his friends. It was quite amazing. And do you know what happens at a wedding? There's lots of food. And there's a big party. Yeah, they had a great party. And, well, back in those days when Jesus was around, the party would go on for 2 or 3 days. I mean, it was a really big thing. They had lots of food, lots of drink. They had a great time. And Jesus went to the party with his mum, Mary, and with his disciples, all his friends. But this party, well, have you been to a few good parties? What's your favourite thing to do at a party? Eat sausage rolls. Oh, you like sausage? I like sausage rolls as well. Okay, good. And do you like playing games? Okay. Pass the parcel? Okay, good. Well, at this party, the trouble was, I don't know if you've ever been to a party like this where there's not quite enough of anything. Can you imagine? pass the parcel and there's not enough prizes for everybody. Well, this was even worse than that, because partway through the party, they started to run out of wine. And all the grown-ups like drinking wine when there's a special occasion, and it was running out. And so Mary, Jesus' mum, went to the person in charge of the party and said, look, whatever Jesus tells you to do, you make sure you do it. Now, the man thought, it's a bit of a strange thing to say. Why would I do that? I know it is strange, isn't it, really? I mean, he was just one of the guests. Imagine you cutting your birthday cake and one of the guests comes and says, no, you need to make it a bigger bit. You'd be a bit annoyed, wouldn't you, really? Anyway, that's what happened. So then Jesus eventually, he said to his mum, he said to Mary, I'm not going to do anything. It's not the right time for me. But then she asked him again. He said, okay. And he went to the man who was hosting it, the man in charge of the whole party. And he said to him, you see those big containers, those big jars over there? Do you know what they had in them? See if you can guess, Squeak, it's your favourite thing. What did they have in them? They had water in them. They were these big, big jars of water. And he said, go and give those to the guests who are asking for wine. Now that's a bit silly, isn't it? You know, it's like if you ask for lemonade, me giving you Ribena. Doesn't make any sense, does it? But Jesus said, when the guests ask for wine, draw some water from those big, big containers. Well, and then something happened. Something amazing that I'm going to show you now. A little bit like, see, I've got a glass here and I've got some water. I'm going to put the glass down because I need to take the lid off my water bottle for this. Because this is what happened. So there they were. And Jesus said, get some of that water from the container and pour it out for people. And then, as they did that, look what happened. The water became wine. Isn't that amazing? Actually, I'm going to let you into a secret. This isn't really wine. And I didn't really do a miracle and turn my water into wine. What I did was I put a tiny little bit of squash at the bottom of the glass, blackcurrant. And so when I poured the water in, it all turned red. Clever, isn't it? But it's a bit like, well, Jesus did something far more special than that because he actually turned the water into wine. Now, Squeak, there you go. Have a little drink. There you go. Is that better? Do you feel better now you've had a drink? You see, the thing is with water, you can put it in other things as well. It doesn't have to be boring and plain on its own. You can have it with some squash. You can have it in a cup of coffee if, like me, you like coffee. But I don't think I'd like to see you when you'd had coffee, Squeak. But you can do all sorts of things with it. And it's really good. Have another drink because I think you're still thirsty, aren't you? There you go. Good. Well done. Okay. It's just a trick, but it's an amazing story. Shows you what happens, what Jesus can do with something really ordinary like water. Now, you're bookworms, aren't you? Would you like to read that story in the Bible? You would. Well, what you need to do is you need to find a part of the Bible called John. And then you look for chapter 2, and it's the first 11 verses of John chapter 2. And that tells that story of Jesus turning water into wine, which is amazing. So, are you going to go and read it? Okay, Squeak, one more thing. Remember to keep drinking. I don't want to see you all tired and grumpy again next time I see you. Okay. Well, you have a good time. You enjoy reading the story, and I'll see you again very, very soon. All right, then. See you later. Bye-bye. Wow. What an amazing story. You see, water is quite something special. I know it. I mean, like that. It looks a bit plain and a bit boring. But think of all the different ways we can see water. There's some pictures coming up behind me. A waterfall crash. The power of the water. Rain. Who likes the rain? Do you like standing in the rain and getting wet? Or do you hate it? I don't like it very much, but that's water. That's where we get our water from. The sea. Massive big waves. It's water. And you can actually use the water to make electricity and all sorts of things. It's so powerful. And a river. A lovely winding river. And, well, of course, water comes in different forms. So you've got ice. Big glaciers of ice. Or steam when you boil the water. So many different ways that we have water and we can see water. It's just incredible. And did you know, it's this time for my random facts, did you know that all of us, over half of our body, is actually made up of water? And if you go to our brains, nearly 80% of our brain is water. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? Water is everywhere and we need it to survive. In fact, scientists think that the only reason that we can have any life at all, plants, animals, whatever, us, on Earth, is because there's so much water. Water makes everything possible. So it looks a bit boring, but actually it's something really, really special that Christians believe God has made for us all to enjoy. Now, in our story though, Jesus did something quite amazing. He took ordinary water and he turned it into wine. In fact, the guests at that wedding said something to the man who was running the party. They said, usually people get the best wine out first and then after a while they give out the cheap stuff when people don't really notice so much. But you've saved the best wine till last, because what Jesus did was so good. It turned apparently boring water into something really, really special. So I just want us to think for a few minutes. Do you ever feel like you're a bit ordinary, a bit average? Not much different from everyone else around you. Nothing special. Because I think this story tells us something really important. Firstly, I think when you think of water, it's really ordinary. It's all around us. We take it for granted. But actually, it's so important for us all even to be alive. And that's true for you. And me, we might feel really ordinary and like we've not got anything very much to us, but the world would be a different place if you and I weren't here. It wouldn't be as good because God made you and me just as we are. But then in the story, Jesus did something really amazing. He took something really ordinary and he turned it into something quite amazing and special. And Christians believe that however ordinary you and I feel, Jesus can do that for you and me as well. He can turn our ordinariness and make us into someone really, really special who can have something amazing to contribute and something amazing to do because Jesus makes the difference. So I'm going to say a prayer now. And I'm going to thank God for water. I'm going to thank him for how important it is. And I'm going to ask him to help us to see just how special we all are and if he can make us even more special. Let's pray. If you want to join in, please close your eyes or else just listen. Dear Lord, thank you for water. Thank you for life that it brings all around us. Thank you that though it looks quite ordinary, actually it's so important. And help us to remember that when we feel a bit ordinary, that we are really, really important and really special. And help us too to know that if we come to you, Jesus, you can make what seems very plain into something really amazing. And I pray that you'll do that for us today. Amen. Thank you for joining us, and I hopefully will see you soon.